Hello and welcome back to Neeti Tech, your go-to channel for AWS Cloud Practitioner exam preparation. Today we will discuss important questions on domain, cloud technology and services, which contributes 34% of the scored content. So grab on your notes and let's dive in. So here's the question. Which AWS service or tool should a company use to centrally request and track service limit increase? So guys, here the ask is for a tool that is used to manage service limits. Service limits are nothing but a predefined limits set by AWS on usage of specific resources or services within an AWS account. AWS offers such a tool where you can view and manage AWS service limits. In case if you find that you are getting errors due to limit exceeded, you can easily raise a request to increase the limit using service quotas. And there you have it. Service quotas is the tool that you centrally use to manage and request service limit increase within AWS. Moving to the next question. A company is launching an e-commerce application that must be always available. The application will run on EC2 instances continuously for next 12 months. What is the most cost-effective instance purchasing option that meets these requirements? Options are spot instances, savings plan, dedicated host, and on-demand instances. Now, this question is regarding cost-effective instance purchasing for a company launching an e-commerce application which is expected to run continuously for over next 12 months. As the requirement is for 12 months, which comes under a long-term commitment, AWS offers savings plan, which can save up to 72% over the on-demand instance cost. So the correct option is B, savings plan. Option A, spot instances, is a distractor here, as people might consider it for a cost-effective option, but spot instances are meant to be terminated anytime, which will impact the application availability. So the answer is B, savings plan. Now let's move on to the next question. A company plans to create a data lake that uses Amazon S3. Which factor will have the most effect on cost? Options are the selection of S3 storage tier, charges of transferring existing data to S3, the addition of S3 bucket policies, S3 ingest fees. Here, the ask is to select the option which will have most effect on the cost to use Amazon S3. Amazon S3 offers a range of storage classes that you can choose from based on the data access, resiliency, and cost requirements of your workloads. By selecting the appropriate storage class, you can heavily save on the cost to store data on S3. So the correct option is answer A, selection of S3 storage tiers. Storage tier. Moving to the next question. Which AWS service or features allow users to connect with and deploy AWS services programmatically? Options are AWS Management Console, AWS Cloud Name, AWS Code Pipeline, and AWS Software Development Kits, that is SDK. Now, we have a hint in this question, like whenever you see the keyword programmatically and there is an option of SDKs, the correct answer is SDKs. Okay, so AWS Software Development Kits provide developers with the necessary tools and libraries to interact with AWS services programmatically. SDKs are available for various programming languages such as Python, Java, .NET, Ruby, and many more. They offer APIs and helper functions that simplify integration and interaction with AWS services. So the correct answer is D, AWS SDKs. Let's move on to the next question. A company wants to migrate a critical application to AWS. The application has a short runtime. Application is invoked by changes in the data or by shifts in the system state. The company needs a compute solution that maximizes operational efficiency and minimizes the cost of running the application. Which AWS solution should the company use to meet these requirements? Options are AWS EC2 on-demand instances, AWS Lambda, Amazon EC2 reserved instances, Amazon EC2 spot instances. Now, if you read the question carefully, based on the requirements of the application having a short runtime, being invoked by changes in the data or system state, and the need to maximize operational efficiency and minimize cost, AWS Lambda is a suitable solution. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service that allows you to run code without provisioning or managing servers. It automatically scales and manages the infrastructure required to run the code in response to incoming requests or events. Since the application has a short runtime and is invoked by events, AWS Lambda event-driven architecture is well suited for this scenario. Now, let's move on to the next question. A user is comparing purchase options for an application that runs on Amazon EC2 and Amazon RDS. The application cannot sustain any interruption. The application experiences a predictable amount of usage, including some seasonal spike that lasts only a few weeks at a time. It is not possible to modify the application. Which purchase option meets these requirements most cost effectively? Options are: review the AWS marketplace and buy a partial upfront reserve instances to cover the predicted seasonal load. Buy reserved instances for the predictable amount of usage throughout the year. Allow any seasonal usage to run on spot instances. Buy reserved instances for the predicted amount of usage throughout the year. Allow any seasonal usage to run at on-demand instances. Buy reserved instances to cover all the potential usage that results from the seasonal usage. Now, the most effective option that meets these requirements is option C, that is, buy reserved instances for the predicted amount of usage throughout the year and allow any seasonal usage to run on on-demand instances. Now, let's understand why option C is the best choice. In this scenario, the applications cannot tolerate any interruptions, which means it needs to run continuously. This rules out using spot instances, which can be terminated with little notice. Additionally, since the application experiences seasonal spikes, it wouldn't be efficient to purchase reserved instances that cover all potential usage resulting from these spikes, as it would lead to over-provisioning for most of the year. By opting reserved instances to cover the base load throughout the year, you are getting discounted rate compared to on-demand pricing. Then, when the seasonal spikes occur, you allow that usage to run at on-demand rate. This balances the cost effectiveness with the need of uninterrupted service. Let's move on to the next question. Which AWS services or features provide disaster recovery solutions for Amazon EC2 instances? Choose any two options. Options are: reserved instances, EC2 Amazon Machine Images, that is AMIs, Amazon Elastic Block Storage, that is EBS Snapshots, AWS Shield, and Amazon Guard Duty. So, disaster recovery means in case if your EC2 instance is terminated for some reason, then you should be able to recover that EC2 instance as soon as possible. Let's understand what are the recovery options. So, using AMIs and EBS snapshots, you can recover the EC2 instance. Let's understand how you can do it. AMIs are crucial component for disaster recovery. AMIs are used to create backup or snapshots of your EC2 instances. So these images can be used to launch a new instance in case of failures, providing a crucial disaster recovery solution. And EBS Snapshots is another essential tool for disaster recovery. EBS Snapshots allows you to create point-in-time backups of your EBS volume. These snapshots can be used to restore or create new volumes, offering a reliable recovery solution. So, the correct options are option B and option C. Moving on to the next question. Which component of AWS global infrastructure is made up of one or more discrete data centers that have redundant power, networking, and connectivity? Options are AWS region, availability zone, edge location, and AWS outpost. Okay, so this question is all about understanding the fundamental building blocks of AWS global infrastructure. Let's look at each option. AWS region. It is a geographical area that consists of multiple availability zones. It is important to note that each AWS region is designed to be completely independent and isolated from other regions. While regions do have redundant power and networking, they are not specific to a single data center. So this option is not the correct one. Coming to availability zone. So availability zone is made up of one or more discrete data centers, each with redundant power, networking, and connectivity. They are designed to be highly available and fault tolerant, providing a foundation for building resistant application. So the correct answer is availability zone. Also, let's consider the other options, that is edge location and AWS outpost. Edge locations, on the other hand, are part of AWS content delivery network, CloudFront. They are used for caching the content closer to end users to reduce latency. While they play a crucial role in content delivery, they don't fit the description mentioned in the question. Same is the case with AWS Outpost. Outposts are a bit different. They allow you to run AWS services on-prem or in co-location facilities. While they do bring AWS infrastructure closer to your own facilities, they are not part of global infrastructure consisting of regions and availability zone. So the option B, that is availability zone, is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. A large company has multiple departments. Each department has its own AWS account. Each department has purchased Amazon EC2 reserved instances. Some departments do not use all the reserved instances that they have purchased, and other departments need more reserved instances that they have purchased. The company needs to manage AWS accounts for all the departments so that the departments can share the reserved instances. Now, which AWS service or tool should the company use to meet these requirements? Options are AWS Systems Manager, Cost Explorer, AWS Trusted Advisor, and AWS Organizations. Okay, let's understand the question first. Suppose there is a company XYZ. It has 3 departments: finance, marketing, and HR. Each department has its own AWS account and they have purchased some reserved instances. Now, suppose finance department has reserved 20 instances, marketing has reserved 15 instances, and HR has reserved 10 instances as per the requirement initially. Okay, so over the time, the finance department requirement has increased drastically, and now they need 25 instances to perform their computation. Whereas marketing and HR department requires less instances as compared to the reserved instances. So marketing department requires 12 instances, whereas they have reserved 15, and HR department requires 8 instances, whereas they have reserved 10 instances. So the company wants to effectively use those reserved instances and enable sharing so that the resources which are not used by marketing and HR can be used by finance department. In this case, AWS Organizations will be helpful. AWS Organizations is a service that helps you centrally manage and govern multiple AWS accounts. Within an organization, you can set up consolidated billing, which will allow you to combine the billing for all the member accounts, making it easier to manage the cost and reserve instances across departments. Okay, so the correct answer here is AWS Organizations. Moving on to the next question. A company is planning to run a global marketing application in AWS Cloud. The application will feature videos that can be viewed by users. The company must ensure that all users can view these videos with low latency. Which AWS service should the company use to meet this requirement? Options are AWS Autoscaling, Amazon Kinesis Video Streams, Elastic Load Balancing, and Amazon CloudFront. So let's understand the requirement here. The company wants to run an application globally to deliver the content with low latency. So here, Amazon CloudFront is the correct option. CloudFront is a content delivery network that speeds up the delivery of static and dynamic web content such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, images as well as the videos. So correct answer is D, CloudFront. Please do comment and let us know if you want us to cover any specific question. We will definitely try to cover that in our upcoming videos. Thank you. So guys, that's it for today. We will come up with more such interesting question answers and explanation in upcoming videos. If you want to simulate these questions, please click on the link shared in the description box. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe our channel so that you never miss any updates. Please do comment if you want us to cover any specific question. Thank you.